to Idaho Media Showcase. My name is Lance Thompson. I'll be your host. And if you're watching this at Friday at 9 p.m., that means you'll have another chance to watch us Monday at, if you're watching us Friday at 9 p.m., you're not watching the show. If you're watching us Friday at 7 p.m., you'll have another chance to see us Monday at 9 a.m. If you're watching us Monday at 9 a.m., you missed the Friday at 7 p.m. show. So welcome, wherever and whoever you are. My guest tonight is Ben Molyneux. He is a Boise BSU communications major who has a very important event coming up. So Ben, welcome.
Thank you.
And tell us, let's start with what you're doing. You've got something coming up very soon that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, next weekend we have the Boise International Student Video Festival, and it's April 28th and 29th at, let's see, on the 28th we're going from 3 until 8 in the Barnwell room in the sub, and on Sunday the 29th from noon till 5 in the Jordan Ballroom. And it's a video festival that we put together this last year with me and a couple students. Should be exciting.
Now, is this an annual event, or has it been done before?
We're the founders this year. We're trying, this is the initial year to put the festival together. So we're hoping after this year it can become an annual event, as long as people are able to take over for us when we take off.
Well, what prompted you to do this? That's a pretty big, that's a pretty major operation that you're doing there.
Well, what happened is we didn't realize it was so much work. No, no. Our teacher, Daewon Cho, actually came to us and selected a couple of us that knew we're going to be here this next year to really get behind it and become the officers of the club and create the club and get out and get submissions and basically start the entire festival, which was an insane amount of work. And man, if we didn't, we've done a great job so far to get it all put together, so it should be great, hopefully. So
what kind of things were, now, first of all, is it open to the public, or is it just students, or who can come to this?
It is. It's free admission for anyone who wants to join us. We're going to have a donation box, but other than that, it's just come on in and enjoy the movies that we're showing. And out of 48 submissions we got, we're going to show 24 of the submissions.
And so how did you get the word out? How do you find films to be in something like this?
That was one of the things we had to figure out. So we ended up filling out basically just a call for entries and just send it out to all of the schools we could pull together in the Northwest. So all of the Boise high schools, middle schools, Oregon high schools, middle schools, just getting it into the school just so hopefully the teacher would mention it to the students in Washington, and just trying to get the word out that way was how we got a lot of submissions. And
when did that happen? When did people start hearing about it?
That was probably, I would say, a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
you had to really get on the ball.
We really had to step up and get it all put together in a hurry. I'd say right before, probably around week 4 of this last term. So what week did we start? So probably in February sometime is when we got those all out to the school.
So you're a full-time student and doing this at the same time?
Oh yeah, and the president of another club and have a job. So it's, you know, busy times for me, but it's all worth it in the end.
So this is the longest you've actually sat still in probably a couple of months?
Yeah, pretty much. The sun's still out. I'm still out there running around usually.
Okay, so what kind of thing, the 24 films that you selected out of the 48 submitted, what kind of things are we going to see? When we come to this?
We've got a mix of documentaries, which will be our first block, and exoticas, or we call them exoticas, but it's more like experimental videos. We've got a couple of those and some music videos, and then we'll wrap it all up with narratives. Okay, so a little bit of everything thrown in there.
And then is the Northwest, you know, is the representation spread out throughout the Northwest, or what?
Not really as much as we were hoping for, but I think if it goes successfully this year, it'll get the word out more to make it bigger in the upcoming years. So this year, it's a lot of Boise State students, but we still do have submissions from other schools. Like we have a music video from Nampa High that's great that I can't wait to show.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and we actually even got some submissions from Korea because our advisor is from Korea and has teachers back there that he talks to all the time that got some submissions for us.
So this really is an international film festival.
Yes, we actually got some international students.
Wow, that's great. So do we have a sister city in Korea somewhere? Boise, or like?
Not to my knowledge, but who knows? You know,
it could happen.
Probably, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so and then who else is? I assume you have some help in this. It's not just you, or who else is working on it?
So our president is Ryan Morgan. He's got a heavy hand in this, trying to help us get this taken care of. And John Webster is our vice president, with also AJ Duthie as our public relations. And we actually did, with AJ's help, his father works for Channel 7 and got our call for entries on Channel 7 to get a bunch of submissions that way. Yeah, and that was huge for us to get the word out even more.
Very good. Okay, so now is this under the communications department, or is that part of or is this a completely separate entity that will kind of live by itself on, you know?
It's kind of, so it's part of ASBSU. So we're a group inside of ASBSU, but we use the comm department as basically our home base is, is what it basically is. But we're all we're sanctioned under ASBSU.
Okay. So if one of our viewers wants to go to this, and tell us again the dates, the 28th?
Yeah, April 28th and April 29th. On the 28th, the screenings are going to be happening from 3 o'clock until 8 o'clock, and in the Barnwell room in the Boise State Student Union building. And on the 29th, from noon until 5 in the Jordan Ballroom will be the awards show, which will be after the Barefoot Video Showcase, which is another thing that our teacher put together.
What is Barefoot Video? That sounds kind of racy. What's going on there?
Yeah, it's not as racy as it sounds. It's a video festival that our teacher, he teaches all the production classes. He just selects out videos from those classes and does a little showcase of student works to help push people to get their stuff shown to the public, basically.
So this is more of that part is more BSU specific.
Yeah, that's more BSU and comm department, definitely, because all those will be coming from the communications department.
Very good. So have you previewed everything, or?
I have. As technical support, I actually had to go through and watch the videos and write up some synopsises for them, and screen grab just some pictures from the movie to put in pamphlets. And yeah, so basically I've seen almost all of them that showed. There were some people that wrote us the synopsis, so I don't have to save me a couple of minutes.
Thank you for that. Yeah. No, so what do you think? Is there a theme that you can see coming up, or are there trends that you see in student films, or what did you see? You've had a pretty good sampling.
Yeah, as far as trends would go, I would say that we've got a lot of documentaries, and I think it's because I think a documentary is a lot easier for a student to be able to pick up a camera and go out and be like, I'm interested by this, so I'm going to shoot it and see if other people are interested with it. So I think that is where a lot of our videos came from, but then we get some narratives that people really push themselves to try hard.
Are these shorts, long, feature? What length of are we talking about?
We set a requirement of no more than 20-minute long shorts, just to make sure, because the whole time we were a little afraid, like, what if someone submits an hour-long feature and we don't have enough time to show it,
Right.
So we wanted to keep it shorts just the very beginning, first year. So I think our longest one that we're showing will be just under 19 minutes.
Okay, that's perfect. So no matter what happens, there'll be something coming along next. It's kind of like the weather in Boise, right? It's going to change.
Exactly.
Well, very good. So now, at BSU in the communications department, what's your interest? Where are you going?
I'm a video production emphasis, but I prefer to be part of the cinematography when I'm on a shoot, typically. But
so do you have experience in that?
I've done some things. Actually, one of the videos I helped our cinematographer on, I was a gaffer and grip, got accepted into BoVi, so we'll be screening there.
Excellent. And then what is there a cinema course or movie film courses there in the communication department other than cinematography, or?
There's the intro, post, and advanced video production classes, which kind of are just general, you just make videos for them. And then there's also a cinematography course, which I took and enjoyed thoroughly. It's taught by Michael Margulies, and he's a great teacher.
Yes, long history in film, and really talented guy. Now, so there are film students at BSU. When I was going to film school, everybody wanted to be Spielberg or Lucas or Coppola. Who are the people who are inspiring film students now?
Same people.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's got to be those same people. I mean, any movie that those, like, if Spielberg comes out with a movie, like, I'm betting that's going to be in the Oscars. And, oh, look, there it is, Warhorse again.
But are there new people that are coming up that are, you know, who are the heroes of the next generation, do you think?
Oh, let's see. It's tough to say. It could be all sorts of different people. I mean, it kind of depends on what genre people are going in. Like, if someone loves blowing things up, I guarantee he's going to idolize Michael Bay, you know?
Yes, good. The explosions are certainly, we see a lot of those in the movies now. So now, are you close to being done with your course of study there, or what's happening with you?
Yeah, I'll be graduating in the fall, actually, in December. I will finally graduate.
And then with a degree in communications?
With a degree in communications with an emphasis in video production. And I got a certificate, which we now offer for cinema studies and digital media.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So, oh, I'm sorry. We have a video clip, evidently, of the some of the things you have, or a sampling of some of the shows that are
Yeah, it's
up?
just a quick sample of a couple of the video clips that I threw together real quick to just showcase some of the videos that'll be in it.
Okay, so let's we'll see that now, huh?
I killed someone. It was an accident. I had just had my license for a few months.
That's how many different films did those come from? Is that from?
That was from 4 different films that we got that we're going to be showing.
That looks pretty exciting. Well,
Yeah.
I think there's professional quality stuff that we're going to see there.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of work has gone into those videos alone, and then taking those videos to put into the festival too.
It's really difficult for students to find places to publicly show their films. I mean, people show them on, you know, YouTube and that kind of stuff, but to have a central location where people can come and kind of celebrate student films, that's pretty rare now.
I agree, and that's why I think Daewon really wanted to do it. He was surprised when he came here that there wasn't an avenue for people to really have a festival to get their work out there. So he wanted people to push people to get their stuff out there and showcase, so people will actually want to make better content and really get people to view it and get people to critique it and just work harder to basically make Idaho more of a filming place.
Well, I'm glad he's here.
I agree.
Now, what is? Do you know what his background is? How he came to this?
Don't really. I know that he's taught at a couple different schools, and he's actually done the same thing at different schools. He seems like he goes to a school, starts a film festival, gets it to work, and then chooses another school to go to almost. So
we're lucky he's here.
Exactly. Yeah. I know when I started coming to school here, I myself was curious why there wasn't a video festival, and I was surprised that there wasn't, and I became a member of Dead 8, which is a film club here for Boise State, hoping that they would do it, but then they didn't, and BoVi came out of nowhere.
Is Dead 8 still, is that just for students, or is that for BSU
It's
students
for, primarily for students, but we also accept anyone in the community to come on in and check it out and pitch their ideas and just help us on whatever they want to need help on or whatever.
Very good. Do you participate in the I-48 film festival?
I do, actually. That last video that we showed there was our I-48 with Dead 8 last year.
That was the one, the kidnapping.
Yeah.
One. Yes, okay, I remember that. It was a good one.
Yeah.
So will you be doing that this year, or you be too busy with your studies to?
I'll be actually down in LA. My friend got me an internship down there, so I won't be able to help them this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how is that where you're heading? Like Hollywood, LA, California, all that kind of
I
stuff?
think that's the dream. Yeah, that's the idea. Hopefully.
So what is your opportunity there? What will they?
My friend got me an internship with Terrence Malick's production down in LA, so I'll be heading down there to probably start out working in the office and answering phone calls and getting coffee, but hopefully that branches out into something more.
Yeah, that's good. Terrence Malick was the director of Tree of Life. It was nominated last year for.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I tell you, when the phone rings in his office, you're probably talking to somebody pretty big, right? So
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
not bad. And then, so what attracted you to film and cinema and video in the first place? Were you always interested in that, or?
I mean, as a kid, now going back and looking at pictures of me as a kid anyway, I see me with holding a video camera. It's like, oh, well, I don't even know what I was shooting or remember whose camera that is. But then I started school as a business major and then didn't like it, dropped out, moved back east to Boston and lived with a bunch of Emerson film students because my
Wow.
buddy was going to school there and they needed a roommate. And I was like, sure, why not? And got to meet a bunch of film students and go on set with them. And I just really enjoyed it and felt like, wow, I didn't realize could be a job. So
And it's hard to actually picture it as a job too. It looks like it's too much fun.
yeah, exactly. You tell people, oh, you know, I moved some lights around during the day and then sat around, waited a little bit, and then moved some lights again. You're like, that was your day? It's like, yeah, it's a long day too, 14 hours. You know?
Well, it's good to have a business background too if you're going into that business,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean, there's not too many people that have that as an extra string to their bow, for this kind of thing.
And that was the idea, you know, just try to equip myself with as much as I could
Yes.
while I'm here, you know.
So saying that your Terrence Malick internship turns into something, what's your goal for your career? What do you want to do ultimately?
I think I would love to work as a cinematographer eventually. Like getting to become a cinematographer on a film would probably be my ultimate goal.
So have you worked, you said you were, or Michael Margulies, you worked with him enough has he given you some insight into that?
I have talked to him a little bit. He actually wrote a letter of rec for another internship I applied for me because I knew Michael Margulies' ASC would look much better on a letter of recommendation. So
Yeah, I think he's certainly got the resume that will enhance anything like that. Now, what is your? I mean, there are people here who want to study film. Students who want to learn about film or learn about cinematography or directing or writing or whatever. What would you say to them? Or is BSU their communications program a good way to go, or what else can they do to get into the industry and get started in a career?
And I've had students actually ask me that before, and I always suggest just getting involved. Getting involved was probably the best thing I did at BSU. Just basically going to Dead A and joining clubs and getting people to basically just talking to people, getting them to know you was the best thing I did. And through that, I've been able to make connections with, say, Nathan Snyder, who's a teacher down there that, I don't know, I feel like he enjoys working with me, so he just, when people email him for work, he just pushes it to me and be like, hey, if you're interested, just see if you want to do this. So, I mean, getting involved and just communicating with people and letting them, and being interested and basically asking questions.
It seems like that's easier here than in a big city. It seems like it's a much more casual atmosphere, especially with I-48. You can be on a film pretty easily. You just volunteer to work all weekend, and last time I think there are almost 50 or 60 entries into that.
Wow.
So it really is a great opportunity to be able to do that. But you're saying do not rely on just going to BSU and getting a degree. You've got to be active in the business or in projects.
Yeah, I think completely. The way I think of it is basically you have to come in and create your education, make your education a job. So people always see me and they're like, do you live in the communications building? It's like, no, I just have so much stuff to do, I can't get out of here. So it became a job, and now that's the idea, is to branch that into another job and let it just keep branching like that.
Well, when you said get involved was the best advice, how did you start? How did you understand that was the key to making this work? Or what did it start with your trip to Boston?
It did. That's where it came from, because I saw my roommates who they go to school all day. They get up 9 o'clock in the morning, don't get home until 11 at night. It's like, you were doing school that whole time? Like, no, I had this and that and this. And it's like, oh, so you were basically just working that entire time. Oh, and that's why you're down in LA and working great jobs now. That makes sense. So I just figured I would just take their example and go ahead and run with it.
Because your reputation precedes you. Mm-hmm. Oh, we wanted to mention, or they're telling us to mention that I-48, what we just talked about and that you had the entry in last year, is the first weekend in June. Is that correct? And Can you tell us a little bit of people who have not participated in that? Can you talk a little bit about what that?
Yeah, definitely. It's a ball of stress. No, it's a
Compared to this, though,
yeah,
it's got to be pretty easy, right?
seriously. Yeah, exactly. No, I-48 is a 48-hour film festival where you get your genre, your character, your prop, your what else? A character. Did I say character? Yeah.
Line of dialogue.
Line of dialogue. That's the one. And you have to make a 5 to 6 minute short in 48 hours. Write a script, shoot it, edit it, have someone put music on it, and get it into the festival in 48 hours. And it is a lot of work.
So, was last year your first year to participate?
Was, yeah.
Wow. So you really kind of jumped in with both feet.
Yeah.
So you had a kind of a suspense thriller that you did last year, right? How many people did you have on that shoot?
So we started with probably close to 8 to 10 people, and probably ended with about 6 people, just because people just, once you get to like hour 15 on the first day, people just start dropping like flies. But I started as just like a gaffer grip on that, and by the end of it, I think I was gaffer grip, audio, ran camera, just did all sorts of stuff.
You had to be pretty versatile to survive that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a great thing to have here. You know, we really get a lot of attention for that.
I agree. I really enjoy it. I'm surprised at how many people actually come into Idaho just for that festival.
Yes, yeah, and then they bring all this equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a big deal.
Yeah, it was amazing to like, the whole time we're shooting, I remember working with the cinematographer, we're like, we're going to win Best Cinematography. Our idea is to win Best Cinematography, so we just tried to put motion and make everything look really professional. And we didn't, like, people that ended up winning it won all the awards, but they did a great job on their short. But the whole time thinking about who we're going up against was really what helped push us too.
Yeah, it keeps your game high, because you know everybody's in on it. And so any advice for people who might want to be part of that? What would you say? How do you prepare, or can you prepare?
Yeah, I think you can prepare. What you would want to do is make sure you have locations and actors, and just make sure you go into it with those already locked down, so you know what you're going to write about, even though you don't know your genre. But as long as you have a location down, you can usually try to work it into your genre.
Right, right. So at least have as many things down as you can. Oh, I'm getting a note that there's a Dan class.
Oh, Dan Allers, yeah, he's grip class.
Did you take that?
I did, yeah. I really enjoyed it.
What did you think? Now, he's a fairly well-known lighting guy here in Idaho, as well as, I guess, around other places as well. Is that part of the film certificate, the cinematography certificate?
It is, yeah. It's a class you have to take now to be able to get the certificate. It's just a 1-credit weekend course, but I mean, it was a great learning experience. And it's a good way to get to see the equipment that you would be using on a professional set.
So did you get to hands-on with that?
A little bit of it, you know, but he would have, I'm sure, brought anything out if anyone asked for him. Be like, oh, I want to see the dolly. I'm sure he would have actually brought it out and showed it to us.
So you feel pretty prepared. You've done production. You've worked as a crew member in a lot of different areas, cinematography. So when you go down there, you're ready for pretty much any kind of.
And yeah, that was the idea. I was telling my friend this the other day. I wanted to make sure I was as versatile as I could be. So if they're like, oh, we need someone for blank, I could just jump in there and do it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any other classes? Did you take Ben Shedd's class?
I did, producer's role, yeah.
How was that?
It was great. That guy, oh man, I love that guy. He's so great. And I really enjoyed the way he teaches it now, where he does a lot of Skype conversations with his old students. And you get to learn, like, well, what did you do when you graduated? And these are like USC film school graduates that still have to go through the process of, well, what do I do now? And it was great to hear their stories and just help, you know, form a foundation of what I might try to do, you know?
So you have a pretty good staff of teachers and you know, the people who know what they're doing, who are actually working in film or have worked in film. Ben Shedd is an Academy Award winner. Students at BSU have access to this kind of expertise and talent.
And they're all really willing to talk to students. That's the great thing about them. I was a little blown away at first to be like, whoa, we have an Oscar winner here? That's crazy. And I got to hold the Oscar? No way. Much heavier than they look, by the way.
Yeah, while everybody's so happy to have one, it doesn't seem that heavy at
exactly.
the time. All right, well, so we're coming up on your film festival, 28th and 29th. free. We encourage donations.
Yep.
Come down. 28th it starts at, tell us again,
28th, 3 to 8 o'clock.
3 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yep.
And that's in the
Barnwell room
Barnwell
in
room.
the Boise State Student Union building.
Okay. And then the following day is
April 29th in the Jordan Ballroom from noon until 5.
and that's the Barefoot Festival and the awards.
And the awards, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you've done a tremendous job putting this all together on very short notice, and especially with a, double schedule, full schedule, and everything like that. So thank you for doing that for Boise and for BSU, and we appreciate it. We wish you great luck in Hollywood with Terrence Malick, and we know we'll be seeing your name on the big screen soon.
Hopefully. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, Ben.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for joining us on Idaho Media Showcase. My name is Lance Thompson. Our guest was Ben Molyneux, and he will be a big Hollywood star pretty soon. So watch for his name under cinematography. Do they say cinematographer? What do they say?
Director of photography.
Director of photography. Thank you. And we have one of those here, but he's back in the booth, so we won't disclose his name. Watch for us every week, Friday at 7 p.m. or Monday morning at 9 a.m. Thanks for joining us on Idaho Media Showcase. And also online, tbctv.org. Is that where we are? Online. tbctvonline.org. Is that right? One of those. All those letters are there somewhere. So please watch us, and thanks for joining us this evening.